AC Milan are a team who are known for being a great defensive unit. But I think tonight's performance and their performance overall in the two legs of this tie has shown that they are back to their very best in terms of how well they are at stopping the opposition from scoring. The way that they just stifled Napoli, Napoli, this is Napoli we're talking about, the team who have the most goals in the Champions League this season, despite not scoring in either quarter-final up until the 93rd minute tonight. They used some brilliant tactics. They played the back four. They had a three in midfield, which were really solid. And even just the little things about knowing how Kvaratskhelia wants to get on the ball and he wants to cut inside and he's going to try and get tight to the right back and then skip away from him. The way that Milan went about stopping this was bringing either Brahim Diaz or when he came on, Messias Jr. on and sort of doubling up on Kvaratskhelia, which was, stopping him from getting into dangerous situations or at least making it harder for him to do so. I actually thought that Kvaratskhelia had a quite good game. I know he missed the penalty, but I don't think it was a bad miss. I think it was more a really good save from Mike Maignan, who is just a superb penalty shot stopper. And he was putting in some ridiculously good crosses at the end of the game, which it was an absolute criminal offence that Napoli didn't put some of them away. And yeah, I just thought he played quite well. Politano, who started but got injured after around the 30-minute mark, the opening half an hour of the game, he looked really lively. So it was a bit of a shame he went off injured as well. A lot of the talk in the build-up to this game was about how Victor Osimhen was, is back fit and started this game. He didn't have too much of an impact on the game because of the way that Milan were playing. Osimhen is a brilliant target man, but he is a player who needs half a yard of space in the area to, be able to just win the ball or, control it and then try and get a shot off. And Milan weren't willing to give him that half a yard of space because they just had everyone back. That they would keep obviously Rafael Leao and maybe one other. Sometimes it was Giroud, or sometimes Giroud would defend deep, or Benassa or someone. They'd keep maybe a couple just so they could spring a counter attack. But on the whole, the way that they were able to stop Victor Osimhen on having any sort of impact on this game was just phenomenal. I say that until the 93rd minute, obviously, when he scored a brilliant header, in all honesty. But yeah, it's just a superb defensive performance. And when Milan were able to get forward, they did look really sharp. Rafael Leao is just, ridiculous. And the goal, it's just incredible. Like, you can look at Napoli and say, oh, and Ndombele gave the ball away too cheaply and someone had to bring him down or something. But, this was about 10 minutes after Napoli had just conceded a penalty, which Giroud had saved by Alex Meret, the goalkeeper. And, they're probably not wanting to risk getting too many yellow cards in this game, which, with how threadbare their squad is at the minute with all the injuries they've got, I can sort of understand it. But it was just superb from Leao, and makes it an easy finish for Giroud by just forcing the keeper's hand and making him come out. So yeah, it was just a moment of genius from a brilliant player who possesses a ridiculous ability to get past players and just glide past them, I would say is the correct word. It's a similar way to what Thierry Henry used to do for Arsenal, in the sense that he doesn't actually look like he's ever running as fast as he can, but it's just like he doesn't. It's like he makes it look effortless. It's just a phenomenal ability that he has. And yeah, Milan, they did have a couple of other chances with the Giroud penalty, and Giroud also had another opportunity to score, but he did manage to put the ball in the back of the net at the third time of asking, obviously. And yeah, the second half, it was very much like the first 20-25 minutes of the game, where Napoli were just putting constant pressure, but they just couldn't break through. And the chances did start falling as the second half wore on, but the problem was they were falling to the wrong players. Kvaratskhelia was putting in some brilliant, inviting crosses, but the chances were falling to Matthias Oliveira, and he was unable to take two gilt-edged chances, which he had to score, I think. And the penalty, I think it probably, you have to give it as a penalty. It feels a bit harsh on Tomori, who did have an outstanding game at centre-back. But you also have to take into account, if he doesn't handle that ball, it's falling to Raspadori, and Raspadori's going to score. So it sort of has to be given, really, the penalty. But yeah, Napoli, I think they'll feel disappointed with the fact that they did only score one goal in this game. And the goal they did score was one of the harder chances they had this evening. They had a lot easier chances. But Milan, absolute superb defensive performance. And yeah, whoever they play in the semi-final, I would imagine it would be Inter Milan with the 2-goal lead. I'd back them, to be honest. I think AC Milan will reach the final of this year's Champions League and play one of Manchester City or Real Madrid. I'm sort of ruling out a Bayern Munich comeback there, but I can see that being a really exciting game, Man City v Real Madrid. So yeah, I think a Real Madrid versus AC Milan final would be, amazing for football, because I'm not even sure. I might be just completely forgetting something here, but I'm not even sure that has been a final before, Real Madrid versus AC Milan. If it has, it certainly weren't in my time, and must have been many years ago. But it would be brilliant to see the two most successful European teams of all time, if we're going off the European Cup / Champions League wins. Real Madrid with, is it 14, I think it is, and AC Milan with 7. Obviously been a few years now since AC Milan last won it in 2007, but they look like a strong side this year. A side that certainly could do well in a tournament. I can understand why they haven't, or why they are a few points behind Napoli in Serie A table, but they just look like a team who can hold on to a lead in a specific game, but maybe not blow teams away throughout the course of the season. So yeah, it will be really interesting to see. AC Milan have my full support. I quite enjoy watching them, but I watched a lot of Napoli this year, and I really enjoyed watching them. So I am a bit sad that Napoli have gone out, to be honest. Kvaratskhelia has been one of my favourite players to see this year. So yeah, it will be inevitable, I think, that this Napoli team will probably most likely get picked apart, and Europe's big clubs will come in for players like Osimhen, Kvaratskhelia, Kim Min-jae, who obviously was a big miss tonight, I think. Maybe a few others might get picked as well, but I think they'll be the 3 main ones given their age, being in their early 20s. So that'll be, what the big European clubs like Man United, Real Madrid are all looking for. But yeah, it was a good game to watch, I thought. Anyway, thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.